Ever wondered why you love life feels like a never-ending episode of Friends with Ross yelling, "We were on a break"? Well, you're not alone. Welcome to the wild world of on and off relationships, a place as unpredictable as the finale of Game of Thrones. Now, you might be thinking, what's the deal with these roller coaster romances? And hey, I ain't blaming you. One day you're all lovey-dovey, sharing a tub of Ben & Jerry's while binge-watching The Office. The next day you're single again, swiping left and right on Tinder like there's no tomorrow. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? This love rodeo ain't for the faint-hearted, folks. It's like riding a bucking bronco. Thrilling, sure, but you're bound to get tossed around a bit. So are you ready to explore this topsy-turvy terrain of modern romance? Buckle up, folks. We're about to dive deep into this love labyrinth. You might ask, why the heck would anyone sign up for this roller coaster? Well, let's spill the tea. So, first off, let's tackle the psychological aspects, shall we? You see, the human mind is a complex beast, ain't it? It thrives on drama, craves excitement, and feeds off unpredictability. So on-again, off-again relationships can be like candy to a toddler, irresistible and oh so addictive. The constant breakups and makeups create a sense of anticipation that keeps the heart racing and the mind spinning. It's like watching your favorite soap opera, but with you as the main character. Then there's societal influence. We live in a world where the will they, won't they trope is romanticized in movies, books, and music. We're fed this narrative that true love is all about fighting, breaking up, and then making up again. It's like we're programmed to believe that love ain't real unless it's a rocky road. And let's not forget social media, where the drama of an on and off relationship can rack up likes and comments faster than a cute kitten video. Now let's talk about personal motives. For some, it's about testing the waters, seeing if the grass is greener on the other side. For others, it's the fear of commitment, or maybe they're just not ready to let go. It's a constant push and pull, a game of tug-of-war where love and fear are on opposite ends. So, is it all just a bunch of hogwash? Nah, not necessarily. You see, these relationships can also serve as a mirror, reflecting our deepest insecurities, fears, and desires. They can offer valuable lessons, helping us grow and evolve. But remember, folks, it's a double-edged sword. While it can lead to growth, it can also cause a lot of heartache and pain. So it ain't all about being masochistic, huh? Who would have thought? Believe it or not, there's a silver lining to this hot mess. Let's check it out. Now, I know what you're thinking. Pros of an on and off relationship? This guy's definitely lost it. But hold your horses. These relationships aren't just about the emotional whiplash. There's the real stuff too, the good stuff. Firstly, there's the thrill of the chase. Yeah, you heard me right. It's the classic push and pull dynamic. One moment you're all about each other, the next you're running in opposite directions. But let's admit it, the ability to chase and be chased is kind of exhilarating, isn't it? Secondly, the space. The off periods in these relationships can offer much needed breathing room. You get to focus on yourself, pursue your interests, and just be you, without the constant need to adjust to someone else's rhythm. It's like a mini vacation from coupledom, and who doesn't love vacations? Thirdly, you've got the opportunity for growth. Each breakup can be a learning experience, a chance to reflect on what went wrong and how to avoid it in the future. You can come back stronger, wiser, and better equipped to handle relationship challenges. It's like a real-life tutorial on love without the boring lectures. And last but not least, the reunion. The sweet, sweet reunion. It's like a rom-com climax every time you get back together. The kisses feel fresher, the hugs warmer, and the love feels deeper. It's like falling in love all over again, and who wouldn't want to experience that thrill over and over again? But hey, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying these relationships are a bed of roses. They've got their fair share of thorns too. But isn't that what makes it real? The ability to weather the storms together, to break apart and then find your way back to each other? It's a testament to the strength of your bond. So it ain't all doom and gloom after all. There's sunshine peeping through the stormy clouds. But hold up. Don't start thinking it's all rainbows and unicorns. There's a dark side to this story. Now, I'm not here to rain on your parade, but we gotta talk about the cons of these on and off relationships. The pitfalls, the traps, the downright ugly stuff that can sneak up on you. First off, let's talk about the emotional roller coaster. One minute you're soaring high, the next you're plummeting down. It's like being on a never-ending ride at Six Flags, but without the cotton candy and fun. You're constantly on edge, never quite sure where you stand. It's like walking on eggshells, but the eggshells are made of shards of glass. Ouch! Then there's the whole time factor. Time, my friends, is a precious commodity. And these on and off relationships, they're notorious time thieves. You spend months, sometimes years in this limbo, hoping things will change when you could be out there living your best life. And let's not forget the trust issues. Oh boy, the trust issues. They're like a nasty lingering perfume that you can't quite wash off. Every time you break up, a little piece of trust chips away. And when you get back together, it's not like that trust magically reappears. No siree. It just sits there, eroded, like a sandcastle after high tide. Now, let's talk about the biggie, the potential for emotional manipulation. Sometimes, these relationships can turn into a power play, with one person holding the reins. And that, my friends, is not a pretty sight. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion, and you're the car. So, while on and off relationships might seem like a thrilling ride, it's important to remember that they're not without their downsides. It's not all about the chase and the butterflies. There's a lot of heartache, a lot of uncertainty, and a whole lot of confusion involved. So it's not always a joyride on this roller coaster. Sometimes it's a straight-up horror show. Remember, love is supposed to feel good. If it's causing more pain than joy, it might be time to reconsider. So, how do we find balance in this chaotic love game? Let's break it down. Picture this, you're on a seesaw. On one end, it's the thrill of unpredictability, the sweet rush of makeup kisses and late-night I miss you texts. On the other, it's the heartache, the frustration, the why are we doing this again moments. How do we keep this seesaw from dropping us on our backsides? Well, grab your notepads, folks, because we're about to spill some tea. First off, communication. Yeah, I know it's the oldest trick in the book, but it's a classic for a reason. Talk about your feelings, your worries, your favorite pizza toppings, whatever it is, just keep the conversation flowing. It's like oil to your love engine, keeps things running smooth. Next, boundaries. Set them, respect them, love them. Your relationship isn't a free-for-all, it's not anything goes. It's like a game of chess with rules and strategies, so decide what's off limits, what's in bounds, and stick to it. It's not about control, it's about respect. Thirdly, self-love. Don't roll your eyes. I'm serious. You gotta love yourself first before you can love someone else. It's like trying to pour from an empty cup. Can't do it, right? So fill up your cup. Invest in yourself, your hobbies, your dreams. You're more than just one half of a couple. Remember that. And then lastly, be flexible. Relationships aren't set in stone. They're like rivers, constantly changing, flowing, adapting. So be like water, my friends. Be ready to adjust, to compromise, to go with the flow. It's not about winning or losing, it's about finding a way to make it work together. So it's all about finding the sweet spot, huh? Easier said than done. All right, folks, it's time to wrap this up. Let's recap this wild ride. We began with our roller coaster of relationships, a whirlwind of emotions, twists, turns, and the occasional loop-de-loop that would make any amusement park green with envy. Then we dove headfirst into the why of it all, the reason behind the madness. Turns out, we're all just a bunch of hopeless romantics trying to find our way in this crazy thing called love. We then took a pit stop at the pros, and yes, they do exist. Who knew? It's not all doom and gloom. There's a silver lining to every cloud, even those stormy relationship ones. But we couldn't ignore the cons. Oh no, they're there, lurking in the shadows, waiting to rear their ugly heads. But fear not, we also found the balance, the love equilibrium, where the good outweighs the bad. And there you have it, folks. The good, the bad, and the downright ugly of the on and off relationship revolution. Remember, love ain't for the faint-hearted, but hey, at least it's never boring.